Hey everyone, welcome back to another Painting with Jay. As always, my name is Jay. So grab a brush, grab some paints, grab some models, and paint along with me. Let's rid our world of unpainted models. Shout out to Cody Rue. And Adam, I'm sorry you missed a spot. And as always, I'm going to keep working on my orcs. It's been a long journey so far. Last, I think, 4 months I've been painting orcs. November, December, January, yeah, about 4 months. And it's going to be fun. This week I'm working on some Nob Bikers. I decided to go with the Nob Bikers over the Battle Wagon because they were already assembled, and I figured might as well get all my assembled models painted, first, but I'll assemble the Battle Wagon this week and then get that. That'll probably be my focus. Maybe next Painting with Jay will be the bikes, the actual bike component of the Nob Bikers. Otherwise, it'll be the Battle Wagon. So let's get started in this week's episode, and let's get painting. Hey everyone, so today I'll be working on my Nob Bikers. Now I've already painted the majority of the knobs, as you can see. Most of the colors are done. We're going to work on the silvers today, and then hit them with a heavy Agrex Earth Shade. I have 5 knobs left to finish painting the silvers on. I think this guy's done actually. Yeah, I can paint his bullets. So these guys, and then 1 more, and then him. So actually 6 more. So that'll probably be the episode. Painting the silvers, getting them all done, and hitting them with a shade, and that's pretty much it for them. And then I'll start working on the bikes themselves after this episode. Oh, we'll see. Maybe if I get to it today, we'll see. I'm playing by ear, so it'll be okay. So let's start with getting some. First, we'll of course get some lead belcher. Put it on my palette. I don't thin down my lead belcher. I always put my metallic straight on without thin. Sorry, Duncan. And since I use a big brush to put on my palette, I'm just going to take the big brush right now and quickly paint up some area. Might as well use up all this paint that is on my paintbrush. I don't wash it off, right? That's okay. It's a little noisy down here for some reason. I think it's just the fan. Yep, but these guys are coming along, and my journey with orcs has really come along. That's what I can say. It's been a good journey so far. I started painting my orcs again in November, just after Orktober. I was away in October, I was in Europe, but also the new codex came out, the last week of October, basically, right? So then I finally had the information that I needed to proceed with my army. I hate building models just before new codices come out, because you build something a certain way and then it's not good. So just to prevent that, I waited, which is good. I'm okay with that. And so I've been painting my orcs. I have tons of orcs. I had tons of orcs to paint, and since then I have been painting like a crazy person. Well, not a crazy person. I'd say I've been painting a decent amount of amount a week. I've been giving myself more realistic timelines. I've been finding that for this year when I inventoried my orcs to make sure that I paint everything that I have, and I gave myself more realistic timelines. I was painting so aggressively, I was wearing myself out slightly, and that's it too. Like, you've seen the amount that I've painted over the last, 100 episodes, where we're in like episode 100 and about 120 at the moment, right? We're just under 120, I think late 100 teens. You see how much I paint, and it can be wearing out sometimes, right? And so I don't want to burn myself out. I've been painting, I do try to paint about an hour a day. Some days I can, some days I can't. I am busy with my job, but I do try. And yeah, so I've been getting pretty good progress. Like, I started painting these orc Nob Bikers. I had to clean them up though. My friend Rob actually assembled them a long time ago, and he had them in really cool poses, but they've been beaten pretty badly since. A lot of them broken. I had to replace arms on a couple, repose them, rebase. The basing was coming off on a lot of them. So it took me a little bit. Like, this guy's arm originally wasn't on. I had to put I had some bits left over from Speedreeks, and I used the extra bits to make these guys look awesome, right? So I've had to work on them a little bit, reprime a couple areas, So it wasn't instantly like putting them on my workshop bench and keep going, and start them. I had to actually fix them up. That's okay. And as you can see, I've gotten pretty far in them. The boys themselves, the bikers themselves, are going to be pretty much done today. They're not going to be, maybe a couple smaller colors that'll be easy to fix today. And then I will turn my attention to the bikes. And the bikes are kind of boring. It's a lot of silver. But that's okay. I'll get them done. And then next project will be the battle wagon. Yeah, definitely want the battle wagon done. I'm gonna go with the gunny, the big, all the guns on the battle wagon. I decided that one. I really like the way that it looks. I think it's gonna be fun, just to have it in the background with like a zap gun or something and just fire. It'd be fun. Look at that. That'd be cool. That'd be a lot of fun, right? So I'm going to build that probably later this week. And then get it going on it. It'd be good. See? Let's paint this dude now. Because might as well. Yeah. And as I said, it's been a very good journey so far. I've been intentionally just painting orcs. I really want to paint a new army. I really do. But I'm not letting myself. It's going to be a reward for finishing up all these orcs. Most of these models I've had in my workshop for years. I've had these knobs for like 3 or 4 years now. And they're not painted. I've had my battle wagon for about 2 years, not painted, right? And I gotta stop that. So that's it. Out of all the armies, there were a lot of reasons why I went with orcs, but one of the reasons was I looked overall, and this was the army that has been sitting on my shelf on average the longest. And I want to rid myself of unpainted models, right? So, as a reward, after this giant orc extravaganza, I'm going to start another army. And I know it may not be a new army, I mean just a new army for painting. Could be a new army. We'll see. Because I do have a couple new armies that I could paint right now if I wanted to. So that'll be good. That makes me excited. But it's a reward, and it's a way for me to motivate myself that it is not cool that I've had these orcs not painted for so long, that I need to fix that. And so they're going to be fixed. Like a dog that you don't want to breed. Vet humor. Yeah, when I was done, I just did that one. Good. This guy is pretty much done. A couple areas I missed, like Adam, he missed a spot. Perfect. He looks awesome. I really am glad the way that I've kind of tweaked this guy the way it was modeled. I like it. He's power posing for sure. Good. This guy, done. Okay, easy one. No, I missed. Still haven't done the stomach. Yeah. What else is new and exciting? Not a whole lot. I've been just working. Work keeps me busy, as it does with all of us, right? Work keeps us busy. Work's going okay. As I said, it just keeps me busy. Pays the bills. Life's good. I'm getting really excited for Adepticon, which is coming up in March. End of March. I need a break. I need a vacation. I really do. And that'll be a good vacation. It's my, vacation I take this time of year. And then maybe one later in the summer. We'll see. Okay, so this is not going to take me as much time. So I'll definitely hit them with the shade after they dry. And I'll clean up a couple colors as well. I made, I overpainted in slight spots. This guy's done. Good. Look at that. Silver's done on him. Oh, no, his boots. Which will leave me one knob after this. Good. But, yeah, I'm really excited. I haven't decided what army I'm going to bring for my, annual battle reports that I film there. Probably orcs, is my guess, but we'll see. I can always throw a curveball in, bring Grey Knights, or vanilla Space Marines. Okay. Maybe Nob Bikers. We'll see. Good. Now for this guy, I'll grab the big brush first because there's a lot of just large surface area. So I might as well just grab a big brush and save myself a few minutes. Alright. Might as well. Yeah, these orcs are coming along. As I said, they're going to be my reward for finishing up all my orcs. It's going to be, I get to paint new models. New. I only have to paint orc flesh on about another 35 models. And then, all done. Which is okay. I really do enjoy playing orcs. I enjoy painting orcs. I enjoy playing orcs. Like it's a fun army. I just, it's one of those ones that's very monotonous, and I'll probably start a next monotonous army. All my armies tend to be, I guess not all my armies, but a large amount of my armies tend to be horde armies. I do love orcs and Tyranids. So, a lot of this repetitive painting, like when I was painting my Tyranids, I painted the same 5 colors for months. And for orcs, I do find very similar as well, right? Because I'm painting all them in uniform fashion. Yeah. And then each one just has slightly different personality, I can do tweaks to my color scheme. Look at that. So that's a lot of the larger brush parts done. So I'll grab a smaller brush, do all the littler areas. Even that could be doable. We're almost out of February, people. Valentine's Day is over. It's March. I love this. Time is just flying by, as it always does. It's going to be spring before we know it. As of filming this, we have less than 4 weeks left of official winter. In Canada, that doesn't mean much. We've been getting snow since late October. So, one of the cool things that Rob did was he magnetized a bunch of rockets and stuff. It's kind of cool. But, so, yeah, but obviously Mother Nature can do whatever she wants. We just say, hey, Mother Nature, it's spring. She'd be like, I don't care. Don't you go tell me what season it is, Ain't nobody got time for that. But, yeah, so Mother Nature can just do whatever she wants. Like right now, it is 6 degrees out right side. It's 6 degrees Celsius. So it would be roughly in the 40s Fahrenheit. mid 40s, roughly. Like 43, 44. And it's raining here in central Ontario. So, you never know. Again, and then it's going to go back to snowing for later in the week. We've gotten a lot of snow this year. Much, I'd say even significantly more than normal. I'm glad I have a snowblower. And, oh, I did miss, I pulled an atom here. I missed a spot of the browns. But, yeah, so I'll just clean up these last 6 guys after this. Just go backwards with some colors, clean up a couple colors, and then hit them with an Agrax Earthshade. Right? And then I'll start working back on the other guys, the ones that the magic of television, the ones I've already pre-done for this week's episode. As you can see, good amount done. The bikes themselves don't take that much. They're just large, and there's a lot of silver that I just cut in. Basically, I cut in all the silver areas, like here, and there, and here, and there, right? The tires, this, that. So just a lot of silvers that you cut in, and then yeah, and then the tire parts, right? Heck, I have a little bit of silver left. I might as well just start cutting the silvers in this guy until I'm out of paint, and then go back to the browns, and then the Agrax Earthshade. As I said, just a bunch of cutting in, and then bikes are pretty done. They're not that hard. The basing will take a little bit of time because I have to base 11 bikes. Some of them are already pre-based, and I'll just paint them. But most of them aren't. Yeah. And then they're done. I like that. I'm really excited. It's going to be good to have a bunch of battle reports, with a bunch of different... I got to get a more predictable schedule. I'm trying to get my hours at work into a little bit more of a predictable schedule so that I can get like Stu and Dave and Trevor in more so that I can film more. I would love to film a battle report a week, if not a battle report every other week, and that way it keeps it nice and fresh. I can go on themes, for a while, like orcs. I can do, I want to try a lot of these new models that I've been painting. Just get it in battle reports, and it justifies the time I've spent on them now that they're all done. The 5 trucks that I painted that I worked on last week, right? It'd be cool to get them all in battle reports. Heck, I don't even know if I've used Orc Boys yet in battle reports. I think I have. Maybe? Maybe not. I think I have. Maybe? I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Like 30 boys. Just go nuts. It'd be cool. Nine squads of boys. I don't think I have 270 boys, do I? I'm pretty close. Yeah. Good. Silver, done. Let's put ammo back. So now I'm just going to go backwards in my colors and just clean up a couple of the brown areas that need to be cleaned up on the 6 models that I've just focused on, and then I'll do the 1 brown before that. So this will be a pretty quick step. I'm going to take some Mournfang brown and, as I said, just clean up a couple colors. Put on my palette. Got some Lambia medium. Life is good. I've been buying some model. There was a clearance at my local gaming store. I bought some models for New Army. Now I'm not gonna show them because it'll spoil with New Army. But I bought them for a real cheap price. Real cheap price. I bought a tank for like $2. Nothing wrong with that, and it's in decent shape. It's gonna take me just a little bit of time to clean it up, but oh my goodness, it's worth it for $2. Definitely worth it. Yeah. So, building an army for cheap. Now, I know what you're saying. Jay, you already have tons of armies. I say, yep. I do. My dog is barking. But he's barking at. Let me go see. There's no one there. Nope, no one there. He'll stop barking soon. I don't know what he's barking at, frankly. He just might be hearing my voice. You guys know, when anybody see my dog, he's not the most threatening. I think he thinks he's just so much more threatening than he is. Good. One's cleaned up. Keep going through. You can see he's already starting to slow down. I'll go tell him to stop barking. He keeps going for more than a minute. The problem is he can see across the street, and there are people at the. Oh, that's what it is. It is literally a father walking with his 2 kids and a dog, and he's barking at them like the tough little miniature dachshund that he is. I love my dog. He is hilarious. Spock, even the little dog, even their dog could beat you up. You can see here, I'm just cleaning up some lines. Cool. I'm watching hockey and basketball a little bit lately. I don't watch that much sports. I'm not a really big sports person, but I do keep up with the Toronto teams and see how they're doing. They're both doing pretty well. Leafs and Raptors are probably going to both make the playoffs. How far will they get? We'll have to see. They're both in divisions against tough teams. You know, like we're going to have to go through the Bucks. The Raptors are going to have to go through the Bucks. Milwaukee's a good team. And Leafs just happen to be in the same division as the best team ever, for some reason. They're the team that's probably going to set the record for the best season in the history of the NHL. The Tampa Bay Lightning. So, that's okay. That's it. I've never been that person that, like, sports are cool. I've never been that person that, like, oh my goodness, if they don't win, I'm going to lose my life kind of thing. Like, I'm going to be sad. It sucks, but there's always next year, you know? Now, obviously for some teams, if they're rebuilding, there isn't a next year. Or, if they're, you know, they won last year with a good team. But that's okay. Oh, this was the one. But, I've never been too, like, diehard about these things. No. There's an annoying country song / pop song that says, if it's meant to be, it'll be. Florida Georgia Line. I'm not the biggest Florida Georgia Line fan. I'm going to admit that as well. I don't really like it. That's okay if you do. I respect that. I just don't. Mm-mm. There we go. So let's bring them all back into the line. And all I do is that. I go through a color, move them back, bring them back, you know. So now I'll bring in that last brown, which is Baneblade Brown, and clean up one last color, let it dry, hit it with a Nuln Oil shade, Agrax Earth shade, and go from there. It's been good. As I said, I'm really happy with my progress. These painting with J's and just my dedication to my painting. I'm hoping you have similar experiences out there in internet land, that you're really starting to see the fruits of your labor, that you are really getting to a point where you're excited to finish up these models that have been around your, your workshops or your games rooms or your hobby rooms for a long time, because these have been in mine for a very long time, and I'm really happy to get them off my plate into my workshop, into my games room where I can film battle reports with them, into tournaments where I can play with them. I don't bring unpainted models to tournaments. I don't. Even if there's no painting requirements, I don't bring unpainted models. I will sometimes bring a model that is not 100% finished, but that is close to finished. I don't like that, but I still do it too. That's just my preference. Again, if you don't, that's awesome. I'm not going to judge you for that. But I don't, because I have so many models that I don't have an excuse not to bring painted models, right? If I bring Tyranids, my army of Tyranids is painted. If I bring Orcs, I try to bring an army of Orcs that's painted. Because I don't like bringing... it's just my preference. I love... When I go to a tournament, I love my army... as I said, I'm not the top painter. I've won Best Painted a couple times, but that's just because, I'm not a pro painter. But what I do with these is, I have a little bit of brown ones. I might as well use that towards the bone areas. There's a couple bikes with skulls on them. This one. Nope. Okay. I like to use up all my paint. But I really do like bringing painted models to tournaments. It's fun when you're hanging out with people and you can see each other's paint jobs, and it's so much fun when they're on the table looking epic. Painted models look so much cooler than non-painted models. So I do make the joke that painted models roll better. They actually probably don't, but obviously there's no effect on rolling. But still, I do claim that. Painted models roll better. And I like it. It's just my personal preference. But I love to bring painted models to tournaments. There we go. That's all the brown up on that. So I'll give those a chance to dry for a second. I do thin down my paints considerably with laminated medium, so it does dry pretty fast. Obviously, the thinner the paint, even that, it's starting to, it's pretty dry. But I want to let it dry entirely before I hit it with a Nuln Oil shading. So, while that's drying, I'm going to start on this guy. This guy has none of the most recent brown. So let's take some Agrax Earth shade and let's hit him with a shade. This color, I love Agrax Earth shade. It's liquid talent in a bottle, right? So for me, this is the step that really just ties all my painting together for the clothing for my orcs. Gives a little bit more definition, makes it dirtier, nicer, awesome, What else? This weekend, the Academy Awards and the Razzies are on. I love to hear who wins the Razzies. The worst movie of the year. I'm gonna guess, now obviously it hasn't come out yet, but time of filming. I'm filming this on a Friday. But my guess is Holmes and Watson. Because that movie is getting so much hatred. I think Holmes and Watson. That's my first question to you. What do you think is the worst movie of this year? What's the other one? Gotti? Coney? Gotti? Gotti. I think it's called Gotti. It's the John Travolta based on a true story one too. That one seemed to get a lot of hatred too, but just the way that everyone really hates on bad Will Ferrell movies. My guess is that Gotti. I would guess that Holmes and Watson is going to walk away with a lot of golden raspberries, the Razzies. That's my guess. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. But that's my guess. And for the Academy Awards, I have no idea. It's so hard to guess who's going to win each year. And I don't really, care about seeing the best picture. A lot of the time, I don't feel that it's justified who wins. I think it's weird who wins, frankly. That it's just like, obviously people vote, but it's usually this overly artistic movie. Whatever, So I'm going to give these a chance to dry for a second, and I'm going to bring the other ones back for a couple more colors that aren't the black or the blue. I'm going to paint... Well, I'm going to do a darker blue now. And, yeah, let's paint those. I'm going to paint the claws and the bullets and stuff, the teeth, the eyes. Get these guys all done. Because my focus is the boys. I'll paint one boy probably for now, and then go back to the non-oil shading of them, because obviously I want the shade to dry. I don't want to end with this. I do end with a shade, sorry, when I'm done painting for the day, but I don't want to. I would like to multitask. I would like the shade to be drying while I'm painting my boys, or my. So we'll see. I know, like, I've seen my girlfriend really loves. Best Picture nominated Academy and like Golden Globe movies. That's her genre that she loves. She loves that style, that based on a true story, starring the same 8 actors. This winter, they always come out in the winter. They never come out in the summer, because summer's blockbuster season, right? This winter, Nicole Kidman, Mahershala Ali, Viggo Mortensen, Daniel Day-Lewis, Tom Hanks. Based on a true story, extremely loosely. Oscar-nominated movie. Warning, probably a lie. That's pretty much it. There's like the same... I should do video... I know what you're saying. Jay should do voiceovers. I want to. I just don't know how. This summer. One man. Based on a true story. Starring Daniel Day-Lewis in his normal, extremely artistic, boring movie. The Boredom. That's okay. I'm razzing them. Some of them are actually quite good. Who's the other? Gary Oldman. Doing a really cool impression. Gary Oldman, very good with voices. Nicole Kidman playing a strong female lead. Which is cool too. It's kind of the way that it goes. It really is. And that's it. But this year so far, what have I seen for the Best Picture nominated films? I've seen Bohemian Rhapsody, which is pretty good. Pretty good. It was really not correct. Like the way, there's a lot of historical inaccuracies, but as I said, very loosely based on a true story. And I don't mind. I love the summer blockbusters, the superhero films, and my girlfriend goes to them without complaining. And so I will go to any of her movies without complaining too, right? It's just, they're very formulaic. Based on a true story. Of someone who is old or about to die. So we'll see. Which movie this year will win? I honestly don't know. That should probably be silver. And then chords. Yeah. So, we'll see. As I said, I have no bets. What have I seen? Green Book. I saw Green Book. Obviously Black Panther. Definitely saw Black Panther. Black Panther. I didn't see Black Klansman. I wanted to see that, actually. Green Book. Saw Green Book. Trying to remember. Don't know what else I've seen. So we'll see. You know, and then the thing is with Oscar movies is that a lot of the time, not all in all cases, but remember, people, like Saving Private Ryan did not. I love Saving Private Ryan. It's one of those movies I could watch every year. Every year on Remembrance Day / Veterans Day, it comes out again on TV, right? And I could watch it every year. You know what movie I won't watch every year? Shakespeare in Love. I won't watch that movie. But guess what? That year, Shakespeare in Love won over Saving Private Ryan, right? So it doesn't matter in the long run because Saving Private Ryan has actually lasted and is an epic piece of movie cinema. You know, like it will stand. It stands the test of time. It is a great movie. It evokes emotions. It really makes you feel the war and the terror around these people, you know, in World War II. But you know what doesn't? Shakespeare in Love. So, you know, in that case, the Oscars don't really mean anything. If you try to only if you only do something to win an award, it's going to be empty. That's what I feel. Especially all those failed Oscar bait movies. Like, let's see, this one. The one based on the Supreme Court woman. That one it didn't get nominated, so I bet they're upset. Maybe next year. Ruth Bader Ginsburg won, right? Same formula. Based on a true story. Very loosely based on a true story of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Starring people who have won Academy Awards in the past. Like they claim that a very large amount of the information that in Green Book is not historically factual. That they were not actually friends. The movie flat out claims, like flat out says, that those guys were good friends until they both died. Which they died in, you know, again, they died recently. But it says that they were friends right up until the point where they died. And apparently, according to relatives of the artist himself, the doctor, that's not true. That Viggo Mortensen's character was overly hyped, and like, again, I don't know. But again, nominated for Best Picture. I don't know why I'm going to do that for probably the rest of this video. Based on a true... This winter... Yeah. I don't know. Do you guys like to watch the Oscars? People out there in internet land? Do you? What are your thoughts? Now, I said I'm going to watch them. I'm going to watch them with my girlfriend. I like to see who wins, but to be honest, it doesn't affect me too much. I'm going to still see a movie if I want to see it. But if my girlfriend wants to see a movie, I'm going to go with her. That's the thing. I'm a good boyfriend that way. I'll go see the movie with my girlfriend. You know? Starring Daniel Day-Lewis, Gary Oldman. Alright, let's start doing some Agrax Earth shading. I think they should be dry by now. And then now all the all the Nob Bikers should be, you know, pretty close to being done. That's good. Yeah, look at that. That's gonna be good. And then some cleanup colors. I'm gonna clean up the flesh a little bit. Some mid-tone highlights, and then the eyes, teeth. I'm going to reshade the claws. Yeah. What movies are you really looking forward to this weekend? Let's see, tons of questions. What do you think about the Oscars? What movie are you really looking forward to this year? I am looking forward to 2 movies. Star Wars Episode 9. It better not be anywhere near as polarizing as Star Wars Episode 8. Because I'm tired of those discussions. But I'm really looking forward to Star Wars, and I'm really looking forward to Avengers and Captain Marvel. Spider-Man, It'll be cool, but I'm not. It's going to be nowhere near on that scale as of awesomeness as Avengers and Captain Marvel. I'm excited for both of them. Captain Marvel has such an interesting. I think it's an interesting storyline. So, I was a little too heavy with my shading. There we go. But Captain Marvel will be really good. And then, of course, the epicness in April, or May, sorry, that is Avengers Infinity War. How many Avengers will actually survive the movie? We'll have to see. You know, that's huge. I don't know, I might actually go see Aladdin. I know a lot of people aren't looking too forward to that genie. People are hating on Will Smith's genie. But I'm going to see it. I think it's going to be good. I'm going to give it a chance. Dumbo looks cute, but I don't think I'm going to see Dumbo. Maybe. There's Dumbo, there's Lion King, there's Toy Story 4. I haven't seen Toy Story 3 yet, so I should probably see Toy Story 3. A lot of Disney movies coming out this year. Disney's going to own the box office, frankly. You know, if you think about the movies that are coming out this year, Dumbo, Aladdin, Lion King, Toy Story 4, Frozen 2. Those are gigantic movies in themselves, right? Then layer on the Marvels. Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, and Avengers, right? And then you go, okay, that's insane. Then you add on Star Wars Episode 9. Like, wow. Disney, you own the box office this year. Every other week will be a Disney #1. Probably for many weeks, Disney #1s. Yeah. So, that's going to be epic. Epic. Disney is going to own the box office. There we go. So we're about 40 minutes in. This is good. See? We're getting exactly on schedule what I wanted to do. Oh, I missed his little armband. I should paint that. But I'm excited. As I said, these guys will be done within the next week or two. And then I'm doing a battle wagon. I've never had a battle wagon before. The battle wagon was given to me by my friends, Cody Rue and Michael. And who else gave it to me? Mike, Cody Rue, John. It was a group gift. Andrew / Drewski, right? Half of them work for Miniwargamer now. They're good guys. I can't wait to paint my battle wagon. See, that's gonna be good. As I said, I'm gonna go with the gun wagon. More Agar Extra Shade. I think I got the title of this episode. Based on a true story. This winter. Yeah. Battle wagon. And then after the battle wagon, I don't know. Maybe some more boys. I have some of those old plastic boys. I'm gonna give a bunch of old grots to someone in my gaming meta. I don't want to paint them, frankly. I don't really want to run a grot list. Doesn't appeal to me. The best part of grots to me are grot tanks, which I love. Killicans, which I love. Or mech guns, which I don't have any. Will I pick some up in the near future? Maybe. I just don't. They're kind of expensive. Because again, they're so cheap for points, and you got to bring so many. It's kind of an expensive item. And that's really what the competitive meta is these days for orcs. There are people spamming mech guns, and I think some of the lists I've compiled are as competitive. I think without grot guns. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I get my face punched in with, theoretically, of course, rhetorically punched in, of course. You know, like not actually punched in, but my list would be punched into the ground. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right though. My orc gun list hasn't lost a game yet, and I played it against some competitive lists, and it's pretty competitive. And if I faced that list, let's say I faced the list that I've been seeing with large amounts of mech guns, I think I'd do okay. I deal with the mech guns quickly, first turn, I would just focus all my attention on the mech guns, knock them off the table. I have a lot of high strength shooting with D, so it wouldn't be too hard. And then that's it. And then you can just piecemeal them. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm an orc player through and through, so I know how to deal with orcs because I know orcs, right? That makes sense. Done one done. And if it's Nob Bikers, I just take out the Nob Bikers, right? Again, hopefully you go first, because if you're not, you're going to be in combat turn 1. You bubble wrap the important things. Stay as far back as you can, and let them rip. Because if you're running up against Nob Bikers, the odds are you're going to go up against Evil Sun's Nob Bikers, and they're fast because they get +2 to movement, so they move 16 inches. They can advance, right? So it would be, and I think it's +2 to advance rolls. So you get 14-inch movement plus D6 +2. So that right there is up to 22 inches movement. And then they get 2d6 assault. I think it's also +2 or +1. And I could be wrong there. I keep forgetting about Evil Sons. They get, maybe it's to charge rolls as well, but they can re-roll charge rolls. And of course, they can assault that turn if they have, they're probably being followed in close proximity by a war boss on a bike or a war trike. And then they can assault. They can also shoot all their assault weapons because Evil Sons ignore the penalty to move. And well, of course, they can normally fire them anyway. I'm just going to blow my nose, but with no penalty. So they're hitting on 5s, and 1s generate, 6s generate more attacks. So they're pretty nasty. So you stay back. So if you go second, basically you got to hope your opponent doesn't seize. But you stay back so they can't assault you, and then, or you bubble wrap. Whatever they're going to touch, they're going to kill. And then you just kill them. Shoot them to death. With a 4-up armor save, it's not too hard to get through. And 3 wounds each is tough, I guess, but my lists tend to have a lot of high strength, lots of D, and so you can knock them out pretty easily. And they are expensive, right? They do take up a significant amount of points, so... No. I love Nob Bikers, but frequently my opponent has an answer to them, and then they die. But that's okay. They're fun. Especially you go first. If you go first, you can get a lot of killing going, and I just spilled non-oil into my hand. Like if you're going first, oh man, and your opponent can't bubble wrap things, you're going to be in their deployment zone turn 1. Turn 1. And it's that easy. Turn 1, you're in their deployment zone. They're fast. Fast and hilarious. That's why I'm painting them, obviously. But my list, I think the list I tend to bring to a more competitive tournament with my orcs is really strong against orcs. It's going to be really strong against orcs because I have a lot of shooting. And my list isn't bad in assault, it's just really good in shooting as well. But, we'll see. As I said, I'm going to lose. It's not a perfect list or anything. I try not to bring the same cheese that I see in the competitive meta. I try not to. I try not to let myself get overwhelmed by it. Because number one, to be fair, if I was in the competitive meta, I wouldn't bring orcs necessarily. Out of all my armies, I think they'd be the one I'd have the best chance of doing decently with. I think. But what else? Because my Grey Knights are definitely not on the competitive meta side. Space Marines, they'd be blown out of the water probably. Tyranids aren't bad, but Tyranids are very formulaic. You bring all, as many flying monstrous creatures and as many Carnifexes. And gene stealers, I guess. Carnifexes spammed, so 9 Carnifexes are typically popular in the competitive meta for Tyranids because you can bring 3 times 3 of them, right? 3 Hive Tyrants. You know, you choose your whoa. And I spilled my non-oil that I just purchased today. Okay, so for the next couple minutes, Jay's going to clean up non-oil using a very large brush. There goes $5 down the drain. That's okay. So let's grab a large brush. And clean it up. So Jay's just going to clean up some non-oil that he spilled. Oil spill. That's the other name. Dealing with an oil spill. A non-oil spill. So my goal is just to conserve as much of it as I can, because the stuff is expensive. So it's kind of like I'm painting my own table right now. Knocked it over. I should have put it in, maybe a subset of it into a... I'm actually retrieving a lot of it. That's not too bad. It all spilled onto a paper towel anyway. I do have a paper towel down on my desk. Oil spill. Yep, not bad. Yeah. So as I said, I don't know. Sorry, what would be a competitive Tyranid list? Flyrants, Carnifexes, Hiveguard. Hiveguard are pretty competitive, I think, because they can shoot things out of line of sight. That's the big thing with meta right now. I do find the competitive meta, a lot of it is shoot what you can't see. CP generation, right? Command points, something to help farm command points. What else? Like, cheerleading. As I said in my last video, cheerleading tends to be a little bit popular. Bring a knight, stack it with as much CP as you can, and it'll survive, right? Or hopefully survive. I did face a list that was with my shooting orky shooting list that had a knight that they were doing the same cheerleader thing for, and I killed it, turn 1. I just focused pretty much all my firepower at it, and I killed it. Alright, so that's been fixed. Let me just clean up my desk quickly. That didn't take too long. So I have a black non-oil spill. I'm just going to put down some water. I'm cleaning up my desk in real time. This is awesome. This is how interesting my days are, you know. Make sure to get any that run under. Prop it up for a sec. Take my large brush again. Clean off the paint pot, of course. So, I lost about a few dollars with the non-oil. Happens. There we go. So once again, wipe off my brush. Take paper towel. Lift up my cutting board and clean it both sides. There we go. And I'm cleaned up my oil spill. My non-oil spill. That's the title of this week's video. This winter, a non-oil spill. Jay will deal with a non-oil spill. It will be everywhere. It will make everything very sticky. But it's okay. This summer. Alright. Watch me do it again. There. All cleaned up. Done. Okay, so he's done. Nope. Working on him. Still him. Okay. Back to the non-oil. Alright, I'm going to learn from my mistake. I'm going to put a lot into a pallet. Keep it closed. Look at that. I love the pose of this one. That looks pretty cool. There we go. So he's done. And he'll dry. This guy. I like these rainy days sometimes where I just don't want to go outside. And it's nice to just sit down and paint and relax, get some painting done, spill non-oil everywhere. Look at this. So these guys are definitely, the biker knobs are definitely going to be done before next episode, obviously. I don't have much left after this. Just some just small details. Pick up the eyes, the teeth, clean up the skin a little bit with the blues because they're deaf skulls. That'll be easy. And then, let's see, after that, it won't be too much on them, and then it'll just be the bikes. So either next week's episode I'll be working on bikes or a battle wagon. See how much time I have, but that's pretty easy. Bikes or a battle wagon. If I'm working on the battle wagon, means I've gotten a lot done. Plus I also have to technically assemble the battle wagon, you know. He's already done. And this guy, paint his hand, that part. So I'm really looking forward to Adepticon. It's going to be a really nice break. I need a bit of a vacation. A Jaycation. Sweet home, Chicago. Good. Done. Alright, so now that I spilled my non-oil everywhere, I've cleaned it up. The Orc boys are going to dry. I think this is a good time to end this week's episode. So let's end now. So that concludes another Painting with Jay. I really hope you got some stuff done. Spilled everywhere as well. Having fun. You know, I think my camera is still on. It is. So it's still on. There we go. Let me fix that. Good. So stay tuned for more videos. As always, this is brought to you by my Patreon campaign. Link in the description below if you want to help support my videos and see their names go by my head. It's because of them that I can keep setting so much time to do my content. So if you really want to help support my videos and my Painting with Jays and all my stuff, please check out the link in the description below and help support my campaign. Stay tuned for more videos. Until next time, this is Jay saying happy painting with me.